Alright, so in this video we've been showing you how to adjust your equalizer to get it set up for correct weight distribution. This trailer and truck that we have here needs to have more weight distribution. The other one that we've been showing you was over distributed. So as you can see here, you've got a little bit of a sag that you notice in the front of the trailer and the truck where they come together at the hitch, and that's a good indication that you're going to need more weight distribution. So Jason and I are going to show you how to do that. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to go through the weight distribution setup measurements in reverse. So we've got it right now set up with the trailer coupled up, the weight distribution engaged. We're going to take our first wheel well measurement, then we're going to go backwards through that. We're going to take the weight distribution off, and then we're going to take the trailer off completely and get the unloaded vehicle weight. We're going to compare those measurements to see how we are on weight distribution before we start messing with the attitude of the trailer. So you can see right here at this measurement, we're looking at about 37 3/4. Now we'll take the weight distribution off and do it again. Now we've taken the weight distribution off, but we still have the trailer coupled up, so we have the full tongue weight of the trailer on the tow vehicle. And the thing that we're going to do now, we took our first measurement, 37 3/4, that was with the weight distribution. This measurement is going to go here on line B, so you can see that's tow vehicle coupled but no weight distribution. So let's see what that is. And we're getting about 38 1/4 here. So we'll mark that down, and now we'll take the trailer off completely and get the unloaded vehicle height. Alright, now we're completely uncoupled, so this is the original tow vehicle height measurement that you would take. That's on line A of the weight distribution chart here. So we're going to take a look and see what that is. And if you look right here, we're about 37 3/8. So when we take a closer look at that, the ideal is to get your unloaded height, and then you're coupled with no weight distribution height, and then you want to come at least halfway back once you set your weight distribution up. And in the case of the measurements that we've taken here, these are pretty good. However, the problem is still that we have the attitude issue with the trailer. It's tipping down too far. So we're going to undo the hitch head, we're going to recheck the level measurements on the trailer, and then we're going to set up the hitch head again correctly and check our weight distribution following the correct weight distribution setup method in the instructions. Now we're going to check the trailer for level, and as you can see right up underneath here, Jason's just measuring right there to the bottom of that frame member, and he's done that on the front and the back, and we're right at about 24 inches. So we know our trailer is parallel to the ground. Now we're going to set the hitch head to the correct height using that as a gauge. Alright, now you can see one of the issues with this initial setup is right here we've got our hitch ball set at 22 inches, but back here at the coupler height, bring that, if you look right here, this is about where we want that coupler height to measure. And from here it's looking like that needs to be set at about 26. So we need to take the hitch head off the shank completely, and we're going to probably have to flip that shank over and bring the whole hitch head up 4 inches so that the top of our hitch ball is up to that 26 inches where the coupler height is. And now you can see we've made the adjustments from the original setup. We've added a spacer washer down in here, and we've tightened up the angle set bolt, which you can see up underneath the hitch head here. Now we're going to recheck our measurements, and with this shank we tried it in the rise position, but we were a little bit too high, and that would have put it up in the way for the tailgate to come down. So we've compromised, and we're going to go just slightly lower with this hitch ball setup. So we're at about 25 inches, even though the ideal would be up to about 26, but we think we can make that work, so that's how we're going to go ahead with it here. So you can see at our measurements here, we're back to about our 37 3/8, which was our uncoupled, unloaded height. We put that here on our weight distribution from before. So what I've done is I've just come to the notes section, and we're going to go back through setting this up correctly. So here's that chart again, and we're going to mark that down here, 37 3/8. And now we're going to drop the weight of the tongue onto the hitch, but we're not going to set up any weight distribution, and we'll get that measurement, and then we'll calculate our halfway back point from there. So we've dropped the tongue weight of the trailer now, but we don't have any weight distribution set up. Our original measurements when we started this showed it at about 38 1/4, so we're going to check and see. We should come back pretty close to what that was there. And this has come back, but not quite that far, so 38 1/8. So we'll mark that under our new setup measurements here. And so what we've got is, now we take 38 1/8 and we subtract 37 3/8 from that. That gives us 3/4 of an inch. Half of that is 3/8 of an inch, so we want to come halfway back. So we want to take that 3/8 of an inch off this measurement. So to have at least the minimum amount of weight distribution set up, we want to come back to 37 3/4 of an inch. Because that distance is halfway between these two. So we'll put the weight distribution on, set the spring arms up, and come back and recheck this again. Now we've got our weight distribution back in place. Our spring arms are up on the L brackets. We've got it transferring the load forward. So we're going to go back and check our final measurement. Our target, if you remember, we wanted to at least to get 37 3/4, and then if you can get all the way back to 37 3/8, that's even better. So we're looking here, we're just under 37 1/2, not quite to 37 3/8. So we've done a pretty good job. So we'll call that 37 1/2. You can see that that's pretty close to our halfway back. It's not lower than this. If you were down in the 37 1/8 or 37, then you'd be over adjusted and you'd want to take some out. But this is between those two numbers here, and it's closer to this one, so our weight distribution is just about as good as you can get it on here, and we're going to call that good. Now the last thing, if we take a look at the overall attitude of the trailer, that sag in the middle where the truck was has gone. We've been able to take that out, and we've got our trailer sitting much more parallel to the ground. So overall everything looks pretty good, and we're going to tow with it like that and see how it tows.